this is what I've been doing in my composing sector at the minute. So I've started with these string ensembles in quite a low with the piano to start to bring in that drone. I've then used a string ensemble and a double bass underneath and cello to bring in that underneath drone. I've isolated the vocals to go on top. I've got first and second draft in there, which is the purple grand piano at the top, and then the second layer of green grand piano, and then underneath I've got the other additional grand piano that you can hear. The double bass down there, I decided to turn the volume down. I'm gonna shut up now and let you listen to what I've been doing.
If you heard about us, you probably heard we ain't into prisoner taking. My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain. These are the bastards. Ever heard of us? We like to say we're a big fan of your work, killing Nazis. But your status as a Nazi killer is still amateur. We all come here to see if you want to go pro.
They're an American Secret Service outfit that lives deep behind enemy lines. The Germans call them the bastards.
The bastards?
Yes, because these Yanks have been them the devil.
That's about it. If you heard about us, you probably heard we ain't in the prisoner taking business. We in the killing Nazi business. Cousin, business is a booming. Sure is.
3 days from now, Joseph Goebbels is throwing a gala premiere of one of his new movies in Paris.
So what I'm doing here is I'm just composing. I'm looking at different instruments, testing out how they sound, and then putting that into my composition. So what I'll often do is I'll play a little jingle, as you can hear I'm playing now in the background, to decide whether or not that's the right instrument to use. I decided that this was going to be the right instrument to use, then put it into my composition. What I'm now doing is I'm working out where to play this violin part.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain. These are the bastards. Ever heard of us?
Working out
We
what
like to
to
say
play.
we're a big fan of your work, killing Nazis. But your status as a Nazi
Here
killer
you can see that I'm
is
starting to
still
play
amateur.
in quite quick
We
succession.
all come here to see if you
And
want to
then
go
put this
pro.
line up with the fastest tempo piano section next.
They're an American Secret Service outfit that lives deep behind enemy lines.
So I needed to find something
The
that
Germans call them the bastards.
The bastards?
Yes, because these Yanks have been them the devil.
That's about it. If you heard about us, you probably heard we ain't in the prisoner taking business. We in the killing Nazis.
So what I'm doing here is I am deleting the first violin part, and then I am creating another part to go on top of it based off the first bit. So that way I can see what I've been playing, I'm playing it again, but in a slight different variation.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain. These are the bastards. Ever heard of us? We like to say we're a big fan of your work, killing Nazis, but your status as a Nazi killer is still amateur.
So upon listening back to this now, even I'm making notes that the violin part should
An
come
American Secret
into
Service outfit
later
that
on
lives
in
deep behind
the
enemy lines.
composition. As you can see here, I'm going back, restarting it, recording again, trying something different.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain. These are the bastards. Ever heard of us? We like to say we're a big fan of your work, killing Nazis, but your status as a Nazi killer is still amateur. We all come here to see if you want to go pro.
Again, this is another
An
note for
American
next
Secret
time.
Service
I
outfit that lives
think
deep behind
that
enemy lines.
when Brad Pitt says, "Oh, we want to find out if you want to go pro," everything should stop and then continue in the fast pace, give it more of a cut off and a change. So what you can see me doing here is reorganizing everything so it makes a little bit more sense. So I'm doing it in two different ways. I'm doing it in the way that makes sense in my brain. So I see the low drone as being at the complete bottom of it. And then I see the audio, so Brad Pitt talking and the rest of it, as being right at the top. In between all, I then see all the different little sections. So I mean, the violin's quite high, so that's going to be near the top. A lot of it's based on pitch. But then the main piano is always going to be centralized, no matter what the pitch is of it. Because that is the main melody and the main thing that you can hear throughout. And then all these little different bits will be situated above or below it, with the audio always being at the top and the low drones always being at the bottom. So you can see me doing this here, changing the volume, unmuting, muting some, deleting some first drafts. And then this is me on CapCut. So CapCut is something that I've had to switch to due to a change in laptop. I cannot access UCut anymore on my old laptop, on this new laptop. So I've managed to transfer the files over and then reopen them in CapCut. I'm finding it's a lot better than UCut. It's a lot clearer, a lot more efficient, and you can see everything a lot better. It's got pre-designed tracks and pre-designed formats, but then you can make your own into there as well. You can also see what you're doing in two different locations, which I find really helpful. You can change the volume of every scene and every pitch, and it's just a lot better. It's got transitions and effects and stickers, and it's a really useful way to be able to format everything. This is CapCut that I'm using to create this video. You can see in VoiceOver 7, that is the recording that I've just done here. So CapCut, I'm finding, is a really useful way to be able to do all of this work. So it's a lot more formal than UCut. You can see a lot more and there's a lot more going on. So up here you can see that there's loads of effects, there's the media that I've put in there, which is all here. All these files here. And then there's media that they've already got. So they've got presets, so spaces, and a library, and it's just really, really useful. They've got an audio file as well, so they've got all these different sound effects that you can use. And it's just a lot better, really. So this is the recording that I'm doing for next week's YouTube vlog. And you can see all the different voice recordings that I'm putting on here. So this VoiceOver 1, which you can rename. You can change the different volumes, fade in, fade out, normalize the loudness of it, so make it all one volume. You can also put a voice changer onto it, although you do need the premium subscription, most of those, and you can change the speed on it, which is also really, really helpful. You can also keep the pitch on it as well, so it doesn't necessarily sound sped up. So this is essentially what I'm now using instead of UCut, which is a lot better. So as you can see, I set up UCut, which is a lot easier to set up. I'm currently recording this part on the 8th of January, so after the Christmas break. at the end of the Christmas holidays on the 19th of December, when I was supposed to put this video out, I was really ill. I was ill into the Christmas holidays, and then on my EPQ schedule, I'd scheduled not to do anything, and therefore didn't do anything, as I didn't see it. So this week I'm playing a bit of catch up and also trying to do this week's video at the same time. So it's a bit mixed on what's going to be in the next video and what's going to be at the end of this video. So as you can see from the screenshots, you can see in the bottom right quadrant the timings and the published dates of the previous YouTube videos. So this should be every 2 weeks, roughly, give or take. So this one will be roughly about a month after when the last one was published. So other things that I've been looking at are things such as different movies and different soundtracks. So for example, I want to talk about the Hamilton soundtrack. Hamilton soundtrack, for me personally, is something that I can look at to look at layering. Every character has its different character motif, which is twisted, played in a minor instead of a major. It is in every single one of the songs that a character is in, their motif will be there. For example, Hamilton's motif is the most well-known and well-heard motif, as it is the start of any song that he is in, practically. Another one that you'll notice that is there a lot is Angelica's and Eliza's theme. Theirs is very similar. One is in a major, one is in a minor. It is there all the time. But anyway, Hamilton shows a really good way of how to layer different music. It is hip-hop and history, two things that shouldn't really go together. This coincides with Tarantino. It's rock with war. It shouldn't work, but it does. So the two share this main idea of putting two things that don't really go together, which is what I'm also thinking of when I'm putting The Crown music with Inglourious Basterds. It shouldn't work. The two are completely opposite, but I want to find an angle that it does work. So going back to the main focus of bringing in Hamilton, it's the layering of the different music. If you listen to a Hamilton track, there are at least 7 different things going on at the same time. You've got record noises, you've got the violins, you've got beat tracks, you've got a drum pad in there, you've got actual drums, you've got the snare going, there's guitar, there's a melody line from a piano, there's a harpsichord in some areas. And I'm going to specifically look into King George's songs and the little snippets he has because they are royal. They are based off of British anthems and British classical music. So another additional thing that I've been looking at with CapCut is a better way to format my videos. So instead of using PowerPoint presentations so much in the background, I can simply take a screenshot from it and make it last as long as I like. Whereas UCut, my previous editing software, just really wasn't the same. Another editing software that I've come across recently, which I won't be using, is DaVinci Resolve. This is supposed to be a really good one for making TV and films. And it's free and it's really well used. And it has a similar sort of layout to CapCut. CapCut is almost like a beginner's version of that. So anyway, that is what I've been doing over the last 2 and a bit weeks because of my illness. And as you can see, I've changed the editing format that I'm using. I've got a bit better understanding of the editing side of doing all this. And I'm understanding more of Soundtrap and layering everything and putting all the music all together. My plans for the next couple of weeks is to really get that first idea finalized. I want to get that tightened up. I want to get the melodies done. I want to get everything in place so it all works and it's all nicely done.